Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a live Wi-Fi battle. I'm going to be taking on my buddy Thomas here, and it should be super epic. So, I kind of wanted to try something a little bit different, and I was truthfully inspired by, Mr. Shady Penguin. I really liked how he goes about his live Wi-Fi narrations. A lot of people were like, you know what, aDrive, you should do some live battles as well, as opposed to doing them as post-commentaries. So let me know whether you guys like the live narrations like this one, or you'd rather see a post-narration commentary. So, obviously the nice thing about the live ones, you get to hear my thought process, kind of what I'm doing, what I'm going to be doing, and so on and so forth. But you guys can give me your honest opinions in the comment section below. And as always, if you want to mash that like button for me, 200 likes would be absolutely marvelous, guys. That would be absolutely fantastic. So we're going to see what Thomas is bringing here. I'm bringing kind of a random team, as per usual, but I do have a little bit of synergy here. I'm actually running Toxic Spikes and Sticky Web, and then I'm running a Choice Specs Rotom with, with Hex, and hopefully it could hit pretty hard. Stealth Rocker and Rapid Spinner Ellie. I got Smokey the Bear, my Toxic Orb, Quick Feet, Ursaring, same sub Nasty Plot Hermione or Miss Magius, and a Assault Vest Poliwrath. So we'll see what kind of team he is going to bring here as I work on my best here to construct the layout as we go. So we're gonna have to see what he's bringing here. So he's actually got an Electivire. So let me grab that. He's got. What else has he got? He's got a Dusclops, which is always a problem if I don't have anything that can use knockoff. Luckily, I do have one Pokemon that knows knockoff. He's got a Torkoal, which is going to be his Rock Setter, possibly his Rapid Spinner as well, or it could be a Shell Smash set. He's got a Rhydon, which I'm actually a big fan of in NU. It's not something you see too often, but it can get Swords Dance and Rock Polish and really do some damage. Executor, which is a threat because it's got Harvest, and it's really kind of scary. And then a Minun to kind of close it all off. A little funny mine in here, which is probably, I think it's especially defensive. So I'm going to actually get rid of my bottom screen and show you guys his team now. Hopefully everything kind of loads into the layout properly as I do my best here to make it look good. So, leads on my end, I mean, he does have a Rapid Spinner. I have two Ghost types, which is nice. So I'm thinking it makes sense for me to go with my Ariados and just try to get up Toxic Spikes. He's got really nothing in his team that wants to get Toxic, and his whole team is affected by it. So he actually has no Levitators, which is really nice. So priority, definitely get up those Toxic Spikes. So we'll start there. He might lead with his Torkoal. I do have a Focus Sash. I do run the risk of having some issues there, but I think getting up my Toxic Spikes on the first turn is very good. Normally I would focus on Sticky Web as well, but his team isn't all that fast, in all honesty. I mean, his fastest Pokemon is really the Electivire. It could be a Scarfed Electivire, and maybe that Minun, but I think Ellie could do some work here, and I'm excited. So good luck to you, Thomas. It's a good pal of mine, and this should be a lot of fun. So I'm going to lead with Ariados, guys. Like I said, this is my shiny Ariados that I hatched in X and Y, super epic. He's going to lead with Franklin, which is his Torkoal exactly, so not too surprised there. He might be trying to get a Rapid Spin up. I should have no problems outspeeding, so even though he could Lava Plume here and actually just take me out, I'll be able to get him my Toxic Spikes, and I'd rather have that than anything. So let's go for the Toxic Spikes here. If he wants to go for Stealth Rocks, that's totally fine with me. Doesn't really bother me too much. He actually is going to go for that Lava Plume, probably fishing for the burn. If he gets the KO here, it's going to be kind of a bummer. With the burn, no burn, so that actually works out really well for me. Now, the question is he going to go for a Rapid Spin? That would definitely be his best play here to try to get rid of the Toxic Spikes, because like I said, it really hurts his team. But I do not want to take any chances. I would much rather get in Rotom here and start firing off some hits, or go into Hermione. So I'm actually gonna go with Hermione here because Miss Magius has a good amount of special bulk, so I can take a Lava Plume. If he goes for the Rapid Spin, it won't work. If he goes for Stealth Rocks, that's fine. I can spin him away later, and his Dusclops won't like. He actually is going to go for the Stealth Rock, so that works out for me. And I'm actually curious whether his Lava Plume is going to break his Substitute. So I might have an opportunity here to get up a sub really quick, and maybe start nasty plotting up. So we'll see. I'm running sub Life Orb, which isn't really the best combination in the world, just because. But I like running Substitute in case things come in with knockoff and stuff. So he actually stays in, surprisingly, and we'll see if he goes for that Lava Plume again. At least I know he's not the Shell Smashing set. We're going to see if this can break the sub. I'd imagine it's going to come pretty close. It actually does break the sub, so that's kind of a bummer for me. But what I can do now is I'm pretty sure I could take a hit pretty well. I can actually go for a nasty plot as I outspeed everything on his team. And, if he wants to just keep clicking Lava Plume, that's fine. He's probably only going to do like 30 to 40%. Torkoal doesn't hit that hard, and Miss Magius' natural bulk is definitely clutch here. So all I have to do is just hope that we don't get hit with a burn. And no burn, so that's really awesome. He's got no immunities to Shadow Ball, so I don't know whether this is going to knock it out, but if it doesn't knock it out, it's going to do a lot of damage to this thing. I'm a +2 Life Orb Mismagius. Something is going to get hit very, very hard with a Shadow Ball. I don't really know what he can do here. I mean, Torkoal can take the hit and knock me out with a Lava Plume, but then I ultimately win the Hazards War, which is what I was aiming for in the first place, so that doesn't really bother me too much. He's taking his time to think here. He could switch into something to take the hit, possibly Minin. He's actually going to stay in. I'm very curious to see how much this is going to do. If he's running any special bulk, then it's not going to kill, but that is just going to straight up knock out Torkoal and put me at a very, very, very good spot right now. Considering his Electivire is the only thing that I could see potentially outspeeding, or his Minin if it is Choice Scarfed, I'm in a good spot to hit something really hard right now and knock it out. He may have Shadow Sneak on his Dusclops, and if he brings in his Dusclops, I'm going to basically assume that it does have Shadow Sneak, which kind of gives me an opportunity to bring in my my Sandslash. So he's going to bring in his Usain Jolt here, which is his Electivire, and it's far too tempting for me to just assume that he's not Scarfed and just go for the Shadow Ball here. I have an opportunity to take out another Pokemon. I could switch, go into Ellie, and be totally fine to wall this thing. But in my mind, I have an opportunity to take out another one of his Pokemon with a Shadow Ball. It's worth it to me. So let's go for that. If he is indeed Scarfed Evire, which isn't uncommon, it looks like he is Scarfed Evire. So he's going to hit me with an Ice Punch and knock me out, which is totally fine. I find out he's Scarfed, and that actually gives me a really good opening to bring in Swagpole, because he is Scarfed, so there's not really anything he can do to me. Swagpole does kind of bait out his, it kind of baits out his Minin a little bit, and kind of the Executor, just because he can get a big Psychic off on me. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like I could take a Psychic, and I can go for, you know, something. Let me think about this. I think it might make sense for me to switch here, actually. Pull a double, and maybe go into Sandslash, or Charlotte, which is a little bit more low risk. So let's do that. Let's pull a double into Charlotte, see if he's going to switch. I know he's Scarfed, so he does indeed switch out into probably the Executor, I would guess. Derpoditis. So he actually goes into his Dusclops, which works out even better for me. He might be able to Shadow Sneak me, but he was probably predicting the, you know, the fighting type move. So he switched into his Dusclops. That's fine with me. I'm actually going to go to my Ariados. If he wants to go for Shadow Sneak, that's fine. He'll be able to take me out, but I actually died of Stealth Rocks. I kind of forgot about Rocks, to be honest, but it works out okay. So I'm actually able, I'll just sacrifice it. It's not a huge deal. So he's got his Dusclops in here, and that's like a pretty decent opening for me to either go into Rotom or to go into, I'm thinking Rotom is like a pretty good switch in here, because I want to be able to take on that Evire later, and Rotom hits everything super hard with Hex, because they're all going to come in and take the damage. So I actually feel like I could take a Shadow Sneak pretty well. Or I can go into Ellie and get burned. I can go into Smokey, and Smokey could take the burn as well. So let's go into Smokey. Smokey, I think, is the least risky, because then I don't have to get burned on something else, and we'll kind of see. So, and I can hit something hard with a Crunch, even if he wants to switch. I should outspeed, so let's go for Crunch here. I'm not boosted, but I am Toxic Orb and Quick Feet, so we'll see how much this Crunch does. He can't, if he burns me, it doesn't really matter. It'll just make my Crunch do less because I'm Toxic or Quick Feet as opposed to Guts, but it'll make my Facade do more. So whatever. If you want to burn me, go for it. It's a wasted turn on your end. My Crunch is still going to do a decent amount. So this is actually kind of an interesting match. I definitely forgot about Stealth Rocks before, but usually I take notes when I battle, but since I'm doing a live narration, I'm not really taking any notes. So I'm curious to see how much this does. Probably not a whole lot, but it should do at least, yeah, it's about 2-hit KO with the Toxic. So he's going to go for Payback, actually, surprisingly. See how much this does. It doesn't really do anything. Unfortunately, Dusclops, as cool as a Pokemon it is, it doesn't really have the best attack stats, or really just offensive stats in general. So my Toxic Orb is going to activate. That's going to give me a big speed boost. Not enough to outspeed an Electivire, but still pretty decent. And since I know his Electivire is Scarfed, I can kind of play around it. It's got Ice Punch, which is probably its most effective move against my team, but its electric moves are kind of hindered by two of my Pokemon, and he can't really lock himself into an electric move, so Swagpole's in a really good situation to kind of come in on that Electivire anyway. Not to mention it's getting Toxic coming in on it, and none of its moves are going to OHKO a Rotom, and I'll probably OHKO back with a Choice Specs Hex, which is going to hit really hard. I mean, that's I think it's a base 130 power move or something close, 120 power move. coming off of choice specs and stab, so it could clean up pretty well at the end here. So I'm kind of wanting to save my Rotom. I would have loved to get up my Sticky Web as well, but that wasn't going to happen. So I'm actually able to take out his Dusclops, which is initially one of the biggest problems on his team. I was pretty worried about, just because it's so bulky, and with Pain Split it can really be a problem. But I've won the Hazards War. I've also won, well, I've kind of won the Hazards War. I still have Stealth Rocks on my field, but the T-Spikes are proving to be useful and will pair nicely with my Rotom if I get an opportunity to bring it in. So it'll also, I'll probably OHKO that Executor, and I doubt the Minun will outspeed Rotom unless he's running like investment. Most of the time I'd imagine it'll be bulky. So this is a really tough play in the match, and I'm going to be that guy who's going to click Protect. I carry Protect on Smokey the Bear. This makes the most sense for me. I know he's choice specs into, I love that nickname by the way, Usain Jolts, which kind of fits with his choice Scarf. I know he's choice Scarf, so I know he's got to lock himself into a move. So if he wants to go for Ice Punch, predicting the switch into Sand Slash, that's fine. If he wants to go for an electric move, then I can go to Sand Slash. So because I have Protect, I can totally scout out exactly what the Selective Fire is going to do, and it puts me in a really good situation, and it might force him to switch. So he is indeed going to actually go for the Ice Punch. So now I know he's locked into Ice Punch. So now I have a really tough decision to make here, because my switch is very, very obvious going into Swagpole, and that's what I think I should do. But he could just double out and go into Executor, which would put me in a bad situation. So I can click Facade here and put in some work, or I can take some chances and see if he's going to switch. So I'm going to be honest, this is a really tough decision. I think my switch into Swagpole is incredibly obvious, so I'm going to click Facade. Because my switch into Swagpole is so obvious, I'm going to take the chance here and go for Facade. We'll see what he does. If he outpredicts me, which he does, he goes for Ice Punch. It's a good play on his part. I mean, it is actually not going to kill, so I guess it wasn't that bad of a play on my part. My move is going to come in and actually knock out his biggest threat. So I did not expect to live that hit, guys, but I stayed in predicting him to over-predict and who knows what else, but that was a risky play on my part. It didn't work out in the way I wanted it to, but it also didn't hinder me a whole lot, so I'll take it. Now, I'm going to actually go into Rotom here, and the reason why is I feel like Hex is going to hit everything on his team very, very hard. If he wants to go into that Rhydon, it's fine. Actually, I think Swagpole is still alive and not Smokey. Oops. So we're on a 3-3. I have my Toxic Spikes. He has his Stealth Rocks. He's going to go into Covalent Bond, which is actually his Minun. So he's got a nice little shiny Minun here. But I don't think this thing can do a whole lot to my Rotom. He is Air Balloon, so he actually doesn't get poisoned. So that's actually really good for him. I'm actually going to Volt Switch out then, because I would have rather him get poisoned. So let me Volt Switch out. If he wants to switch into his Rhydon, that'll just be a good play, but Swagpole looks pretty good. He's actually going to go for Agility, so he's actually running Agility Pass. He's going to Agility Pass into his, oh, he's got Volt Absorb too. I didn't realize that this thing carried Volt Absorb. Oh my god, I just misplayed so badly. He's going to go into that Executor right now. I need to switch. I hope he doesn't Baton Pass right now. Not good, guys. I just made a very, very big misplay. I forgot that this thing got Volt Absorb. Please don't Baton Pass yet. I know exactly what he's trying to do. He's going to Encore, so that's okay. He's going to Encore me. So he's trying to get his Executor in on my Rotom. So what I can do is I can knock off and get rid of whatever berry he wants to go for. He's probably gonna Baton Pass into Executor now. It's actually really an epic match. I've seen this set. The common set is to run Emolga with Executor. So there's the Baton Pass into the Executor. This is a set that Hayden came out with on one of his YouTube videos, and it's become very, very popular. It has a little bit of holes to it, so it's not like perfect, but it's actually really good. So this thing's going to come out here, but I think by knocking off his item, it should put me in a pretty good spot to not have to worry too much about his item. And this should do a good amount, too. So yeah, that's actually going to do a good amount. I'm able to knock off his Bataya Berry, and that kind of hinders his ability to get those special increases. So he's going to want to go for Giga Drain here to heal himself back up, and that would be his best play. And I have really nothing that wants to take it. He'll probably actually knock me out with a Giga Drain. So my best play here is actually just to go for a knockoff and hope that, you know, he's not going to go for Giga Drain, but he does. There wasn't really anything I could do there, unfortunately. Kind of was in a bad spot. He's going to heal all the way back up, which is really annoying. But I'm pretty sure Rotom can take a hit, and at this point, I'm pretty sure I can just fire off Hexes here and start to wear down his team. I won't outspeed, but I should be able to take a Giga Drain because he's not boosted. He's just, I mean, he's got a really high special attack, but I should be able to take one Giga Drain here. So let's go for that Hex, and if he goes for Giga Drain, that's fine. If he switches, that's even better. I'd prefer him to switch, to be honest, but we're gonna see what happens. This is super close. I made a very bad play on Volt switching the mine, and had I clicked Hex, I would have been in a lot better situation. That was a terrible play. Very bad. He's actually gonna go for Sleep Powder and miss. Huge miss there. That's actually really bad. If you might have seen my last battle against Thomas, that might cost him the match. He went for Sleep Powder on a Gourgeist. He misclicked Sleep Powder on a Gourgeist and actually cost him the game against me last time. And Sleep Powder seems to haunt him once again. That was a big play, guys. That was a big play because I'm pretty much in a situation now where his last Pokemon, which looks amazing, by the way, Shiny Rhydon looks pretty awesome, it's not going to enjoy, it's really not going to enjoy this hit right now. So I'm going to go for Hex, and I don't believe that Minun is invested, so if he wants to go for a rock move, he runs the risk of missing. My Hex is going to do a lot of damage to a Pokemon that doesn't have a very good special defense stat. It actually just straight up knocks him out. And guys, sometimes if you run sets like this Rotom set, where I'm kind of really countering, you know, on my Toxic Spikes and Rotom to work together to be synergistic, it can work out really well, and it's proving to be that way in this match. So at this point in the match, unless he does something super crazy, I think we're pretty much good. He's going to take a big hit from this Hex here, and my Swag Pull is actually Assault Vest, so even a Discharge won't really do too much unless he gets a lot of Parahaxes on me. You can see I could take that with no problem. He gets a crit. My Hex is going to come in here and actually do about half. So that leads me to believe that my next Hex should knock him out. I didn't realize how fast this thing was. I am running Timid Rotom, but maybe Minun has like just a little bit higher base speed than Rotom does. I can take that with no problem. I obviously can't get paralyzed from the Discharge, which is nice. Hex is going to come in here, and that is going to probably knock him out. It does indeed knock out the Minun, and that is going to be the match. Nice 2-0 against my buddy Thomas. Cash prizes. Really awesome battle. I thought I lost there for a while. He got the unlucky Sleep Powder miss, and I made a really bad play on Volt switching on a Minun. But super awesome battle, guys. Let me know if you like the live commentaries better or you like the post narrations. And obviously, if you like this kind of stuff, you want to see more of it, hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. This has been your boy aDrive. I will catch you guys later. Peace.